It's also pollution, real quick, too, right?
We're gonna be.
You're right.
Yeah, it's gonna be Eastern time zone.
More China than Japan, but
Britain. It's gonna be Eastern time zone. Just
yeah, so like 11 or 12 Eastern.
Right. Okay. There's our high rolling.
And if you want to keep watching, without our lovely commentary, feel free to do so on the Japanese stream.
You have that right.
Just know that we will be back around 11 or 12 tomorrow.
So actually, I'm gonna turn the stream off after this. Actually.
Yeah, so they can go to the Japanese.
Oh yeah. You guys can definitely watch the games on the actual Nico Nico site.
We'll post it like right as we leave.
Yeah. You won't have our commentary, but the commentary will be just as good.
In Japanese.
Probably better. Probably better.
But in Japanese.
Unfortunately, in Japanese.
Dude, this guy doesn't foil.
Alright, it looks like a spoiled out Delver deck.
Is it Delver again?
I think I saw Delver.
It's on mirror.
And it looks like a mulligan. Holy wow! I'm slowly losing it, guys.
Something.
I saw an underground sea.
Alright, that's Delver. It's hard to tell what color yet. It could still be blue.
Judge Provo Force of Wills. Classy.
Only foil you can get.
Oh, I'm gonna ask.
Or is it,
I was gonna ask EMA or Judge Force.
What's the other?
EMA is the one where it's just like this and like the rings coming out.
Oh yeah.
I like the original.
You like the original?
Yeah,
nice, Bob. You're gonna say the original
obviously.
Too. All right, I'm gonna say the original as well.
The original is the classic art. It's Trace Nielsen.
That's typically what I tend to do.
Well, the new one is Trace Nielsen too.
I don't like it as much. It's not. I don't know. Part of it is just nostalgia.
Shardless.
Spicer and Leovold.
With Leovold.
Do you keep this on 6?
I'm mulligan.
On the play or the draw?
This is a lot.
On the draw I keep.
I think he's on the draw.
On the draw I keep. On the play I mull. Well, I don't know.
I'm mulligan.
Okay.
Turn 1 trop go.
But I'm glad that we already got to the punchline.
Like, your opponents are going to waste you so hard. Even if you have a land. You have to draw 2 lands.
Hey, David. Good to see you here. Thanks for coming in. So, mulligan to 5 against Delver. Bob, if you were the Delver player and your opponent mulligan to 5, what's your thought?
Mulligan to 4. Mulligan to 4. Mulligan to
4. Good one.
And I'll have the Delver player my opponent tanks, and then mulligans. I'd much rather them tank than keep.
Tank than keep? Okay. If they tank then keep, how aggressively do you wasteland them?
Very aggressively.
Very aggressively?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Just anytime they... Well, first of all, you just mulligan them aggressively, like, regardless, but it's even better when you mulligan...
So I got a glimpse of the Shardless player's hand. I just saw some couple things.
So I'll target away from the force.
That's interesting. He was on the draw.
Really?
So would you have considered keeping?
No, I saw Liliana.
I saw Liliana, Baleful Strix, and a Basic Forest. I'm not sure about the Basic Forest, but I definitely saw Verdant Catacombs as well.
Yeah, there was a fetch land. Well, what do you think of keeping that hand based on the fact that you have Scry on the draw? I would have kept it, but I'm greedy.
Wow, and that's a very aggressive Force of Will. And, oh man, the Mad Punish. Okay.
I mean, roll to 5, you have to do.
Yeah, I can see that, actually. That makes sense. Ooh.
Everything's going the Delver player's way.
Right, exactly. So now this Baleful Strix not only needs a second land that's on the right color, because the Basic Forest is not going to cast it, but it also needs to power through a daze. So...
Okay, so I'm going to make the executive decision. We're going to call the player on the left Shi, because that's the Chinese character. So Shi and Yoshimoto.
Shi and Yoshimoto.
Why would you play... It's one thing to play Basic Forest, it's another thing to play the ugliest Basic Forest. How could you not have a better Basic Forest?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it Ravnica?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a 4 symbol on it. I don't know. Like...
Unacceptable. Whoa, now this is fascinating.
How is he not jamming Liliana there?
Well, not Liliana. He saw the days, so he knows there's a daze.
Yeah, he knows there's a daze.
There's a second daze?
Yeah, the Delver flipped to the daze. But I'm interested to see why he did not...
Does he even have another land? He doesn't, but I guess playing into it doesn't do anything, so not playing into it doesn't do anything.
Well, playing the Baleful Strix, though. Why didn't you play the Baleful?
He forced.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And at the time, he did it because he didn't have the mana to cast the Baleful.
Right.
Get a swamp.
Oh, does he have Stifle in his deck?
He might be playing... Oh, he is playing Anuraag. We didn't know anything other than red spells.
Yeah, it looks like Grixis.
Yeah. But the brainstorm in response to the fetch...
means he might be playing Stifle.
Yeah, that's the clear signal that I would get. That being said, I don't think Shardless player can... I don't think Yoshimoto can actually play around Stifle at this point, just given how further and further behind he's getting. So you have to go for it in this situation.
I'm so happy you got Underground Sea.
Swamp.
Oh
Well,
my god.
The swamp is only better if he has like 2 wastelands.
Right. Alright, let's see if this Liliana gets through. Okay, no, it's probably gonna spell.
We'll see what it is.
Spellpierce is a big game here.
I mean, any counter spells.
I very much so admire the Delver player's deck. She's deck. It's very beautiful.
I think
Got
those
those black
are
borders.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right.
A thing.
So it's not game yet. He's gonna get a little bit of time.
We're gonna put up a fight.
Straw Tarmogoyf is just real.
And he's a little bit more than that. He needs an answer to the death right. Although
The good
Liliana
thing
is
is-
almost an answer to death right.
The good thing is that this Liliana is now pure card advantage, right?
Yeah.
Unless he draws a force.
Yeah, outside of Forcible, correct? Yeah. One of the most
Right,
notable
but that's
things.
like a dead draw anyways.
Right. One of the most notable things that I've seen happen is just that, you know, like my shardless opponent will ancestral and then just like tick up infinite times with Liliana. Oh wow.
What does Charles have to that?
Baleful Strix is a good draw. Any chump blocker is also decent.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
he needs to chump a turn and then kill it, but he probably has. Whoa,
Any
what
force that
happened?
Liliana ticked up.
That's
Yeah.
all.
And yeah, we're magging. That. Okay, this game is.
Now it's effectively over.
Well, we have a couple draws. Shardless
Is
Agent.
Tarmogoyf big enough?
Tarmogoyf is big. There's
doesn't even
There's
matter.
a Planeswalker, instant land. Oh, you just forced.
Okay, but given the situation, like Yoshimoto's actually not that far behind. Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah. Likely going to a game 2. Okay, very fast. That's one thing. All the
They play
players-
so fast.
I know, it's beautiful.
Like, are we watching it like 1.5 speed? Like, what's going on?
Right. Yeah, I question the force of will on turn 1 Delver.
So, on a Molva 5,
On a
I don't
Molda
know.
5, you
I
need
think
to
it makes-
extract as much value as possible that you can to win, right? Or
It
false?
depends.
it's either that or
You're-
you're so far behind that you need to get lucky on a couple of pieces to come
Right.
back.
Okay.
I mean,
So I
yeah,
think-
Force of Will on a multi 5 is just not good, but
Yeah.
having it on turn
But
1
having
is-
a Force of Will on a Molva
Yeah.
5 is not good either.
I like his
Which
play
is
of
not
forcing the turn 1 Delver.
Okay.
You just need a bunch of things to break your way.
Mhm.
And you need the time. Honestly, well, so Shardless has enough built-in card advantage that given the time, they can draw out of it.
Right.
So I think forcing was fine.
Okay. Yeah. That is it goes both ways. One thing I want to point out is that, you know, Shardless player just snap counted the Delver, like didn't even think about it.
Mhm.
We do see Stifles in this guy's deck. We've confirmed it. The brainstorm in response to the fetch did signal that to us earlier. But you know, confirmed it for sure now. Looking at the sideboard though. Oh no, this is his main deck. Okay.
Mhm.
We do see the main deck copy of Leovold. I think that card has been picked up pretty quickly in terms of just, you know.
So it looks like he's taking out a Force and considering taking out the Leovold.
The worst Leavold Z play. Like a 1 to 2 of in either this deck.
Like
or
Shardless,
some of the-
Illyrin.
Bug Elves. Jarvis has been
Bug
yelling Bug
Elves,
Elves.
yeah.
That's not really a meta.
Just like
deck.
any mid-range deck, it's
Yeah.
reasonable. If you can get it out on turn 2, it can be pretty good.
Mhm.
I mean, most 3. Pretty.
Right. So
Sure.
one thing that I think I noticed is that she has actually, the Delver player has bordered out some Force of Wills. How do you feel about that against Shardless Bug?
Yeah, I go back and forth. On the play, they're not the best.
Okay.
Days is so good.
Yeah, Days is really, really good. Not always. So, like, my personal strategy is I just kind of trim on the edges, like maybe 1 or 2 Force, 1 or 2 Days. Well, on the play, I would trim at most 1 Days.
Okay.
Do you want the Therapy post board?
They're okay because they're a way to answer like Abrupt Decay and Tarmogoyf. Sometimes you don't care about Tarmogoyf because all your threats are kind of built to deal with it, but sometimes you do, and so it's kind of a way to hedge.
Oh, okay. His name is Ichikawa. Sorry.
He's really, really good.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm sorry.
He's
just
top
followed
aided
up.
like multiple Pro Tours, so that's
Nice.
why he's being featured. That's
Alright.
cool.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. not very good with names.
He
Anyway,
actually top 8 at a modern GP with Rug Delver, I think.
okay.
So he's a very, very good player.
And just for the record, yes, there will be all of this is going to be archived. So in the VODs, you will be able to watch all the rounds. For like I guess the next 2 weeks. Also, Julian has generously volunteered to upload the VODs, edited VODs, onto his YouTube channel later on. So for future viewing, we're going to see. I mean, this will be available for sure.
He's playing the Power Mantra deck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. That deck
Again,
hasn't
that makes
caught
more
on.
sense for Stifle. If you're going to play Stifle, then versus build to play playing the Power Mantra.
Right, because with Gurmag Angler, you need like 2 turns pretty much, and then
Right.
like you can just rumble.
You're dating this significant tempo.
And also, Gurmag Angler is just so hard to kill. The only thing that really kills it is
Dismember.
Dismember, Sword Splashers.
Yeah. Actually, so Yuki's gonna mulligan to 6. From the Shardless side, what are good answers to
Gurmag Angler?
Gurmag Angler? Yeah.
There's Toxic Deluge, which only works pretty much the turn after they play it, and then there's also Liliana the Veil if it works, and Maelstrom Pulse.
So not
I think
good
that's
answers.
it.
Clunky.
Jace as well, but yeah, again, all of these answers cost 3 or more mana.
Okay. Tarmogoyf also a potential answer, like a pseudo answer, and then it can block if it gets big enough.
You have the
Power
artifacts.
is big in that matchup. Yeah.
You have the artifacts to push it to a 5/6.
Like a 2-mana Spirit Monitor. Why didn't Charles play like Murder?
Maybe it doesn't
That's
work
what you-
too well with.
Can't cascade into it.
Right. No, and it looks like another no land handed on Yuki's side. So
He brought in Winter Orb on the draw, which is interesting.
right.
I wonder. I'm really curious as to how much he's tested this matchup
Okay.
because I haven't liked Winter Orb in this matchup, but I don't know.
So that right there that we saw was just like an extent of how powerful the scry rule is. Yuki actually considered keeping that no land hand just based off of like the value that the scry provides. I think I would also mulligan in that situation. I'd mulligan a lot quicker, but that's more a sign of expertise in that I wouldn't have even considered potential like the math behind the scry rule and what percentage.
I don't know what
chance
else
that
was in his hand.
It was like
Winter Orb was like a dead card.
right.
Delver was good.
We had some 1-mana spells, but
Right. Interestingly enough, this
You can win
game,
both,
this
right?
game
Yeah, you can.
if you have a Delver Deathrite hand.
could be
Also depends. You just need a mana screw the other player too. That can always happen.
right.
From what I saw,
That's true. Or
the other player only had Trop Wasteland, but maybe I missed the land.
Didn't Trop the worst land in the deck?
Maybe
Where's
there's
the
another
land?
land I didn't see. Or maybe he had a Deathrite. If he had a Deathrite, Trop Wasteland.
So this is a good point about the new Wizards protocol in terms of
Alright, so this is a 5. I think he's
Yeah.
priced into keeping it on the land. He has a Wasteland.
Ooh, that's.
What?
I think that was a preemptive. I don't have anything to play, so I'd rather sacrifice my wasteland than sacrifice something else. And all right, Yoshimoto draws a brainstorm off the top.
We'll see if he finds another land, or both players could be landlocked here, which would give Yuki actually a decent chance.
Right, and I don't think Yoshimoto
think he
has
has
a second
one.
one. Yeah.
I didn't see one either. Is there a Deathrite at least? Wow.
I don't understand.
Legacy, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
That's-
All right. And we're moving to
Trop
discard.
Waste is not a good game.
Yeah.
On 7, right?
Wow. Okay.
Alright, we're going to be sitting here for a while. Move to discard, move to discard. Alright, so this game is completely equalized from mulligan to 5, and now it's anybody's game. Delver players should be favored because he only needs 1 mana to operate.
Correct.
Although the Yoshimoto does have a disfigure, so if the Delver player just hits 1 land, it's
That's telling.
okay. So now Yoshimoto has this. Well, this is the thing about the Shardless deck,
Yeah,
right?
it's
He
like,
hits a land and he still can't do anything.
Almost cast spells.
Yeah.
I mean, he can still draw into Deathrite Shaman. That's a very powerful draw.
The only way that hand's reasonable if you have Ancestral Vision. Even then, I don't know.
Okay.
He's gonna bolt the Deathrite.
Both players are drawing lands now. So we have a game now. There are decisions to make. things to do. He's going to fetch with a Flooded Strand. Fine.
So basically what happened was both players just mulled to a 7 with a 1-lander.
Correct.
Now we're playing Magic again.
Right. Because
and actually both players have presumably really good spells in their hand because they were able to choose the spell they discarded.
Right.
And Yuki actually went as far as
Oh my god.
discarding a Delver.
Shuffle fail.
Which I think is bizarre. He had some cantrips that he chose to keep.
Do you, if you have Stifle in your hand, in Yuki's position, do you think you discard that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Even
Delver
though,
is just always going to do something, and these other cards are
right.
not.
So perhaps that means that Yuki has additional copies of Delver in his hand.
Maybe, but even so, like any incremental copy of Delver seems really good. You have no mana, that's your best threat on low mana. Where's the shardless player? Discards yet again.
Okay, and now Yuki is drawing lands, so it looks like he's going to be able to start.
Is he going to be able to deploy 2 threats in one turn? That's going to be the key. No, so here you see he passed the turn, choosing not to ponder to keep up a Pyroblast or something. But he could have played a Delver that turn. Like that would have been much better.
Okay. All right. So.
But the shardless player is just mana screwed, and is going to be discarding yet again.
I do see 2 copies of Abrupt Decay in Yoshimoto's hand, so if he does draw a green source, I don't think he's necessarily out of the game yet.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, he has to draw a line.
Perhaps, you know, what's interesting is that Yoshimoto did board an Engineered Plague. Do you think he thinks that Yuki has Young Pyromancer in his deck?
He probably does. That's the only reason he would. Same with Goldari Charm.
Right.
Oh, that's actually ingenious. So he almost misboarded.
Right.
Or he did misboard, assuming that Yuki is on the Turbo Gurmag deck. Okay,
And
I don't like this play because Winter Orb doesn't do anything.
right, Winter Orb.
I mean, I guess theoretically, if Yoshimoto draws another land and starts doing stuff, and he doesn't draw a land,
Discarding these and 3 mana.
But again, think about if Yuki had like a Delver here. Like Yoshimoto would be under so much pressure.
Yeah.
So I think the Delver discard was not good.
That's weird.
That's Scour.
Yeah, and actually, I think the Engineered Plague is.
So he
not
did that on his upkeep. What would be the reason to do that at all?
You know the top, right? Did he ponder? So he saw.
Oh, he did know the top card. Okay, so that's the reason.
Right.
And then he chose not to use a land because his lands don't untap and his death right does. Looks like he found a land? No. Still no land.
This match is poop. What is this triple fight?
Yeah.
Winter Orb doing nothing.
This is slightly
Alright, he found a
unfortunate, but maybe the match will end shortly. It's really unfortunate because I mean Yoshimoto's deck plays enough lands where I would expect him to have drawn a 4th land by now. That's not unreasonable.
How many lands do those decks play? Like 22?
Probably
Sure.
22, 23.
Alright, he found a land. Even still. So where do you start here? No, he has a lot of removal, so you can.
Got a lot of life too.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess you start with killing the Delver and then killing the Death Ray.
Do you have time till Winter Orb?
Or Matt. I
Or
guess
Delver
it
not
does
flipping.
matter a little bit.
yeah.
Force him to draw lands.
Okay, no, that's fair. I guess Winter Orb is relevant.
Right.
H one. In turn,
Absent from abrupt
chills the Delver. Next turn chills the next.
Okay. So that was a Stifle check. And yeah,
He did have it.
Yuki does have it. Okay. And so this is one of the benefits of just being able to play the deck that has the lower curve. You get out of these like unfortunate situations far more easily. Lightning Bolt, a critical draw here.
So I think this Gurmag deck is definitely better than traditional Grixis Delver against Shardless Bug, just because of A, how good Gurmag Angler is,
Right.
Stifle's
and
good in
B,
Charles Book.
yeah, Stifle's good, and also B, how Pyromancer are still strong, but it is weak to a lot of cards like Toxic Deluge and Fairy Charm.
If you get them to this sideboard, like
Right.
it's a huge advantage.
So this Baleful Strix probably is going to resolve, but I am not surprised to see. I would not be surprised to see if Yuki just snap bolts it.
Yeah, he has a couple bolts. He's just gonna bolt it and keep with the Delver.
Right.
Or yeah, so he found a Daze, but that doesn't play around the Wasteland.
So minute play. Do you bolt end step or do you bolt
with the end step because you're gonna do it anyways.
Okay.
I would just do it with the trigger on the stack because you're gonna.
Okay. That's a good point. Actually, I think that might have been a better opportunity. Very slight detail.
Opting not to drain there.
Yeah,
right?
you opted not to drain to have access to 3 mana, which I don't see much need.
Just playing very conservatively.
Right. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if he's going to be in the situation where he needs that extra 2 points of damage for reach. You know what I mean? Like, if Yoshimoto is losing, it's because there's some other... The Death Rite not dealing 2 damage is not going to be the root cause, right? There's some other deep issue going on that's causing Yoshimoto to lose this match. You know what I mean?
But if we're talking about eliminating turns from the opportunities to have answers as, then
okay,
seems weird not to do.
Sure.
If it ends the game, turn faster.
Theoretically, I understand that. Yeah.
Unless he has like a Vendilion.
Right.
Does he have Toxic Deluge in his hand? No, this game.
Okay, yeah, he's going to concede now. No way to shuffle the deck.
It plays so fast.
Right.
So Winter Orb actually was not good when he first cast it, but it did end up being relevant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what's crazy is despite the fact that
Winner.
Despite the fact that Yoshimoto had like multiple lands untapped, Daze, like Winter Orb just increased the power of Daze.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was so much as just to tap an extra land and slow down Yoshimoto so that his dudes could hit in maybe like 1 extra turn or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty powerful. Now,
I like Winter Orb out of this version of Grixis Delver.
Right, when you're playing Stifle, Gurmag Angler, like you're all in kind of on the
tempo plan.
I actually
plan.
I'm skeptical of Thought Scour generally, but this build of Grixis Delver seems pretty cohesive.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Stifles is the best way to play Stifle in a Grixis Delver deck, and playing Winter Orb.
So one thing I wanted to mention is also that you have to understand, whereas earlier when we saw Winter Orb in play, the deck was operating on 2 and 3 mana. This Gurmag Angler deck technically does operate on 1 to 2 mana, right? Because Gurmag Angler is typically going to be a 1 mana spell, thanks to Thought Scour. Whereas otherwise we were seeing like cards like Snapcaster and
exactly.
all those other cards that typically we wouldn't pair with Winter Orb.
Yeah, you don't even have a 2 mana Pyromancer.
Right.
Your entire deck to cast for 1.
Yeah. So another thing that I want to